Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited today. We have a special guest coming from the Carolinas. I actually met this gentleman about a couple months ago, right? Yeah, actually it was last month at the Clever Summit, and really over in Vegas, we clicked it off right away. This guy is a mover and shaker by all means. With just a 4-man crew, has been able to produce last year alone over 100 wholesale deals throughout the year, as well as doing about 3 to 4 flips monthly and still keeping up with 8 to 10 plus wholesales, per month. They're in 10 different markets. They are networking like crazy. And at the end of the day, just making a bigger impact in their community and in their bank accounts and their families. So without further ado, Randy, what is happening, my friend? How are you?
Just another blessed day. At it early and hard today. I'm so thankful. It's Thursday, ready for Friday. Multiple closings this week, and just ready to share some more nuggets and some more value with other people, and continue to build our community and this real estate family. And our goal at the end of the day is to help everybody listen try to get to 100K plus. So let's make that happen.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it. So for anybody out there that doesn't know more about like who you are, where you're from, what you're up to, do you mind just giving that 30,000 foot view of what you guys are up to, what you guys have been able to accomplish over the years?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Randy Solomon. My partner is Milton Velasquez. We're both right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Our company is BRRRR Development Group. We specialize in wholesaling, fix and flips, land development, raising private capital. So we really pride ourselves in being experienced real estate investors, period. So we're trying to hit every aspect of the game in every way that we can, and really leverage real estate to, as you said, man, just provide for our families and really help other people grow in their journeys and, help people with home ownership. So Milton and I were really 2 separate paths. Milton was just crushing it for over 1.5 years on his own, doing wholesale here locally. My background was I was a financial advisor with Raymond James, learned about REITs and, how these big funds and national players are making, 9-10 figures a year just in real estate and just crushing the S&P. Yep. And, just started doing research, man. YouTube Academy. I'll tell my man, Max Maxwell and Jerry Norton, and just, really invested the time to learn the business and all the different strategies, man. And I've got my MBA from Anderson University, it's a local college here. And, when you can figure out, basically reverse engineer the process and say, hey, here's all the different exits, and be able to apply that to a single deal, it's almost like you see, wow, almost any deal will fit for somebody. And being that creative and knowing all the different exit strategies has really helped Milton and I just catapult to another level. It was actually pretty funny. Milton and I started working together. I've done container home Airbnbs. I think I showed you this, like building container homes for Airbnbs and unique stays. And I had an investor who I was working with really looking for a lot in Greenville, and Milton had one, and I met with him, talked to him, and him and I just clicked instantly. I think we closed that deal in like 5 days, something absolutely crazy. And we were like, man, that was a pretty smooth transaction. So started JVing more and more and more, building that trust and relationship. And I mean, he's like my best friend. We hang out all the time. Our families hang out, and we've really been able to build something special and expand our team. So very blessed to work with that guy and just do what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. So tell me, why real estate for you? Did you have anybody in your circle, your family, your surroundings that it actually inspired you to do so?
Well, man, it's kind of crazy. I come from a single family home. Was a principal. There's a principal now in Savannah, Georgia. Shout out Chatham County. Awesome, just fireball of a woman. Yeah. Very strong Puerto Rican woman. Just love her spirit and her motivation. But man, I mean, I'm the only entrepreneur really in my family that's gone out and started their own business. And for any of you guys listening, it is challenging to do that and to not have that roadmap or influence. So to give an example,
the support in some cases, because it's the safety route that people go towards. And when they see you start getting a little risky and starting any entrepreneur thing in the beginning, you're going to fall a lot more times than you start running, and they get scared. They try holding you back a little bit out of love.
Yeah, and just protection, man. And entrepreneurship is truly a mindset. It's a pathos, right? Like It is a way of carrying yourself, a way of thinking that you have to commit to. And for me, it was like, I was grinding for 3 years in this game, doing this on the side. And for all you guys listening, like I'm sure there are plenty of 9-to-5preneurs, like I was myself.
Yeah,
working that 9 to 5 and hitting it in the evenings, man. And once I started to say, okay, I'm going to commit more time to this, I went from equaling my pay, right,
to
spending a couple more hours, hitting the late hours of the night all weekend, to where, oh crap, I just doubled what I was making.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, 5 months consistently, I was like, hey, this is my time to, stop and switch it out. And I mean, anybody that takes that step to truly commit not only to what they're doing, but in themselves and believe in themselves that they can do it. Man, I mean, my first month after, I made 3 times that I was making in a 6-figure job just through wholesaling and structuring deals and working with people. So I think when you say, what is it real estate for me? It's real estate is just such a unique vehicle where it's like, if you want to make $1 million, how many hours do you want to commit to doing it?
Yeah.
You can same thing, but how many hours are you going to commit in comparison to me and the other people in your market to get the deals, to build the relationships, and to really go as big as you want to go? So I'm a huge competitor, even with myself. So being able to challenge myself in that way and really dictate your own self-worth,
Yeah, that's good.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I highly commend people. I did it myself, being the 9-to-5preneur, right? That basically, working your 9 to 5, but then at the end of the day, putting in some extra hours. And once you get to that certain point where the income's starting to overflow more than the day job, then it's a good time to start saving up the money and getting prepared to put more time and energy into it and start taking away some of those 9 to 5 days, right? So I love that. That's the way to go. And it's working on your mindset that whole time, like every day, kind of like the saying motivation. It's needed like a shower every single day, right? It's so crucial. It's so important. Talk to me about the team. You guys are doing a ton of deals. What are everybody's roles and how does like lead generation start coming in?
So I would say this, Milton and I's approach to this game is a little bit different than what you hear from a lot of the gurus and from a lot of other people, right? You'll see a lot of things out there that say you need to invest money in marketing, scaling, VAs. And something that him and I both agreed with is not about the VA per se, right? If you think about it backwards, if you have 5 VAs yourself and the guy next to you and the guy next to you, a whole row of people in this industry that have all these VAs, right? What are they doing? They're getting all these deals. So we kind of approached it as, hey, we can scale ourselves 100x just with 10 relationships, which means, hey, if I focus on just the disposition, which is making relationships with buyers, attending things like Clever Summit, the All-In Conference, like investing that time into meeting people with the capital and then building the relationships to create the pipeline in addition to your own efforts, it's like, man, you'll find yourself in a position where it's like, I've got 5 to 6 people that I call my homies. We can like hang out, go drink and have fun and like enjoy time with our families together.
Sure.
But I'm also getting 20 deals just organically through relationships. Ryan Zolan and Jamil Dimji preach this like crazy, which is leveraging agents because of the free marketing. It's the same concept. If the agents have the free marketing because their job is to get the deals, well, I mean, any wholesale event you're at in your market, it needs to be like, hey, dude, if you got deals sitting in inventory, your problem is not you getting the deals, it's the buyers.
Yeah.
We focus on the buyers, you focus on your part, and then we just JV at 50-50 with people. And you know how this works, man. A lot of people, oh, you're 70-30, this and that. Nah, man. Like, I want to make you money, and I want to make money because the more money I can make you, the more capital you have accessible to grow your business.
Sure.
And I'm actually being able to invest in other people by helping them move their deals. A great example is Eric out of Atlanta, but he's a guy that we met in Atlanta. Super, super, super cool guy. His Instagram is at JetSet, JETSETE _. man, this dude's doing over 6 figures a month in wholesale, has a VA company doing all these things to add value. And I saw he had a challenge, 90 days to $1 million. So his thing was trying to get 90 days, $1 million in wholesale assignments. Dude, just having a mindset like, hey, I've got some really good deals. I'm going to send him to that guy. Let's JV with that guy. Let's promote, let's encourage or support him in his journey. Yeah. And when you share the wealth, it's like all these things just fall into place, man. Like that's what led us into the flips. Like, sure. Hey, if we make 600,000 and I know for a fact you made at least 200,000 because all the deals I did with you, you made this, you made that. When I need funding for a flip or I need anything,
I know who to go to.
You create your own community of wealth. And that has dude, now it's like, hey, I need flips funded. I make 1 or 2 phone calls. It's like, hey, here's the deal. Here's this. Boom, boom, boom. We get money and we're able to move and do things that people just aren't able to do, as a year into the game as an established company like that. And other than that, dude, even organically in-house, our marketing is strictly like strictly text and relationships. Text is the cheapest form of mass communication out there.
Are you talking about text blast to leads?
So pulling lists, we get very granular in our list. So think about it like this. If we know 5 different exit strategies from owner finance to novation to renter to flipper to note buyer to all those things, we tailor our list search to a certain criteria that will, net us houses that fit each one of those avenues. Then we've got 5 different text campaigns that are super personal to reach these people to get the leads and the contracts. So even if you've got a VA that you're paying $800 a month and they do 2,000 calls, that's great. My text blast and texting and having that system set up, I'm paying 10% of 1 cent per text on a mass scale. And you can really reflect that personability in those text messages through my, like my scripts are like, hey, buddy, my name is Randy. Drove by your spot at this address. I freaking love the house. Would you be open to talking about it or open to letting it go? You know what I mean? Like letting them know I'm a real person. And text just makes it so much more convenient to them in terms of being able to respond to you,
Sure.
Our phones are, I know, especially for a guy like yourself and me, like, dude, I get 60 calls a day. I don't want to pick up the phone anymore.
I'm tired of the damn phone.
If you guys ever get a chance, I'm going to give you another guy too, at Wesley Knight in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to just shout him out real quick. The dude has the sickest voicemail I have ever heard in my life. Yeah. It's like, oh man, come on, dude. I get all these phone calls in a day. Dude, just shoot me a text. It's so much easier to respond and get the information you want. Hit me up, man. Like, and I think just, we want to all create an institutional factor to our business. Sure. But at the end of the day, man, we have to remember that we're in the business of helping other people through buying real estate, which is a blessing in itself. Yeah. And in a lot of these situations, you're able to help people that don't have any assets. Like you and I can sit here and talk about millions that we have in, property value and equity and all this, but you're talking to someone that's got a beat up Honda Accord,
problems,
a 9-to-5 job in a house that has $100K in equity that they don't know how to get to it. So
how are you going to relate to that?
Exactly, man. So a key factor is, you got to break down those institutional walls, keep that structure, but always try to make it feel personal, man. Like any way you can make them relate to you and connect with you like that is worth so much more than just, hey, you want to buy your house? Hey, you want to sell your house or anything.
That's good. Like that. I love how you mentioned relationship based with agents. I'm a big advocate of that. I started off doing that. I still do that at the end of the day. It's really getting your brand out there, letting everybody know, being very clear on what you want, but then letting everybody and their grandmother know exactly what you're looking for so that they can keep an eye out for you. And agents, that's their job. Brokers, that's their job. So if you can find good ones that are ready to hustle and see that, look at you serious enough to be able to perform and not waste time and that it's going to be compensated well on both sides, then you can create win-win situations and you can get basically free work out there. Yeah. And then once the leads come in, it's a no-brainer. So I love that we still do that today. Let me ask, as far as pulling lists go, so that you can do text blasts and so forth, do you have any recommendations on where you guys are pulling lists and what type of criteria for the listeners?
Dude, first I want to, if I could patent a phrase, I know this is being recorded. That's why I'm put out here so it can be documented and proven. That concept of what you're talking about, I've grown to call it leveraging human capital.
Sure.
So when you can leverage the motivation, the goals, and the resources of all these other people, you create the biggest marketing company, the biggest group beyond what any person could normally afford and sustain.
Yeah.
And dude, to your point, man, like pulling lists, I mean, dude, so if you're not using batch leads or privy or any of those sources like that now don't get me wrong, I've been a fan of PropStream for forever. I use PropStream. It's good to pull that, but dude, in 2022, man, you got to stay up on tech. I mean, great examples, Robert Winsley, good
Sure.
God. I mean, that guy's a machine, but why? He's committed himself to staying on the cutting edge of what resources we have to work today.
Your leads, you want it to be the best of the best. The list that you're pulling, you want to scrub it clean. You want to make sure that it's not touched. You want to make sure that it's accurate, right? Because if you're dealing with a crappy list, you're going to get crappy results, right? Like you deal with a prime type of list, then you're going to get better results.
And see, I mean, that's just a big thing for me. My suggestion to anybody, which we found super effective, is the big thing that you have to think about economically, right? The biggest bump in equity across the whole span of history has happened in the past 3 years between really 18 and 21. So we're trying to target right now people that acquired houses in the 16, 15, 16, 17 year range, which means they would have had to have a minimum between 4 to 8 years of home ownership. And saying, hey, you've got this property, blah, blah, blah. Even if they don't know what their house is worth now, there's still probably at least 30% equity in that deal. And seeing, hey, if you're open to selling your house, if you're open to me working on the real estate with you, I mean, the opportunities are endless. I'll give a little bit of game, just to get a little bit of game. A good gold nugget is to get in the mindset that you are not trying to just sell this property. Selling real estate is a loss. I'm sure plenty of people have heard that. You have to get yourself in a position to solve their problem, which is whether that's taking over their mortgage, shout out to Pace Morby, whether that's, wholesaling it to give them the cash they need to get from out of their mortgage because they might be behind, whether that's, doing innovation because they've been working on it but can't finish it. It's investing in yourself to create knowledge about all the solutions you can give somebody. So if you line me up next to somebody else, is a seller going to want to work with a guy that can just say, hey, I've got cash from somebody else and I can pitch this to you and, I can get you money maybe? Yeah. Or the person that says, hey, I'm a real estate professional. I'm an expert. Here's all the different ways that I can help you reach what you want to do. Yeah. Let's sit down and work together and try to solve your problem.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's time and time again, at the end of the day, we're all human, right? So people want to be treated that way and right at the end of the day. So it's very important to humanize with people and realize where they're at in their current state and their life. And when you get a ton of offers coming in on a hot property, then sometimes they can all be exactly the same and just a little bit more ruthless. Yep. And even though it may not intentionally want to come off that way, a lot of people do. So therefore, it's very important to really break down and listen and ask those questions of, hey, where are you currently at? What's the problems? How can I help you? And then because of your education, you should be prepared with many different ways to be able to solve their problems, which is awesome. Yep. So going back to the list, using batch leads or really any of the other, platforms out there, are you doing absentee owners, obviously equity, available equity, 30% or higher and so forth?
So I'm doing a good blend. Actually, I'm targeting more owner-occupied properties as well. So it's a great strategy too is that we found. I'm also a real estate agent as well. So being able to do referrals to people, being able to help people solve their problems means even if somebody isn't an agent, right? It's like, hey, if you build relationships with agents, you can start getting referrals. You can start getting paid to refer them business. They'll give you incentives, things like that. Sure. It's like owner-occupied properties that were bought between 4 and 5 years ago have so much more equity now. And in some markets, 100% equity in deals. Yeah. Those are the people I want to target. One, because if I'm the one that's going to lead with the heart and try to genuinely help people, You get a lot more out of it when you can work with the owner of that property in that property.
Yeah.
Another piece, this is kind of funny. Another piece of game that I've learned is when you do those absentee owners, I feel like you're targeting a certain niche of people in real estate that already know the taxation game, right? They already know the benefits of identifying as absentee. But do you know how many people don't and call their primary residence and don't even live there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That don't. I mean, we come across a ton like that, like a ton of, I lived in it and then I just moved out and just do it as a rental and I still get certain things there and pick it up and all those situations. And you find it. And also like owner finance deals, good equity deals where you can generally help people are typically occupied by an owner that has very low income. We like those situations where it's like, hey, you're the owner, but you're upside down in your mortgage. That's where the opportunity is. It's you are the one in the property in need.
Yeah.
You're going to find that more with the person that's living there than someone that just says, oh, it's a rental or, oh, it's something else. Now, we do target those guys as well, but I would definitely re-steer people who are listening in your respective markets. Dude, try to help those people who bought those homes 8 to 10 years ago that are owner occupied. Yeah, some of them might not want to sell it, but a lot of them probably will because of equity.
Yeah.
Toss them to an agent. Say, hey, I got a lead, blah, blah, blah. She's wanting to sell, but it's a retail, house or deal. How can we make this work? How can we do that? And that's how you build relationships, even what you're saying, passively, where if an agent gets a lead from a random investor, man, they're going to start sending you everything they got. They're going to try to invest in you in the same way. So it's important to pull those lists of occupied owners, in our opinion, with, at least 5 years of ownership, try to go for at least 30, 40% equity in that way. Also, even just because of the wholesale game right now, that's freaking crazy. If anyone is
crazy market we're in. Yeah,
it is. I mean, dude, if somebody's willing to sell it to you at, 30% of the value, take it. Get transactional funding and sell it. Put it back on the market.
A lot of these properties or projects, you can get away with doing little to no work on it and just capitalize on it.
We got a guy locally. His name's Shane Ninen. Shout out to Shane. This dude is freaking killing it, man. Like, it's almost annoying. He's like, oh, you don't flip it. You don't do this. You don't do that. He's like, just get it, put the sign in the yard, and walk away and you'll sell it.
Yeah.
Ain't that true? And I mean, this dude, I think he just made like 58, 60K on one wholesale deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I mean,
awesome.
you do stuff like that, it's so much easier to get the funding for that, the transactional funding, everything else to help.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Listening, if you need help, we're really good with raising money and having money to invest. We partner with people on their fix and flips, on their, transactional funding situations where it's like, hey, I need, especially as wholesale regulations become a little iffy, and a lot of people need day of funding or just for 24 hours, whatever.
Sure.
Please feel free to reach out to me. I can help you pretty much in virtually any market do that. And I love partnering with people on fix and flips and any other projects they have. So
that's good. What does the process look like for the team as well as from beginning to end when you guys get your leads together? Just kind of walk the listeners through your process in a kind of a quick format so they can understand and take some notes, guys. This is important.
So our system is pretty linear. Okay. So we try to be as streamlined as possible. We leverage a really simple CRM, Podio. I love Podio because Podio is so customizable. So you can make it whatever you want to, as complex or as lean as you need. For JV partners and people, what we started to do is we have a form, an online form. Hey, if you have your deal, input the form. It populates into our Podio. I'm a big nerd, so I've got my Podio coded where when the lead comes in, it'll tell me, okay, ARV to suggested asking price. Is it a 70% equity deal? If it's 70% equity or less or more, then I'm going to try to flip that property if it's at that number. So if you got a 60% equity deal, hey, let's try to flip that. Let's try to work with them and do that deal. If it's over 70%, like 75 plus, I'm going to say, okay, we need to assign this deal. Here's our margin. And once you approach things from that mathematical way where it's like, hey, any investor is only going to want a deal that's 70% equity. You can sell that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make a spread that's safe, that's secure, easier to sell. Okay, you do that, you subtract your wholesale fee, and then I do like typically on average, we're trying to do like 15K, something reasonable, not crazy. And then also in that calculation, get the person to say, hey, is this A, B, C, D grade property? You can imagine D as a full gut, C as, okay, like it needs a good amount of work, B as strictly a lipstick, and A just a hotel. I have it where if it's A, these are the fees. Take purchase price times 3%, this, because it's going to be straight listing.
Yeah.
If it's B, then it's a lipstick. I know, okay, interior, exterior paint, run me 10 to 12,000. Granite, 2,000, floors, this, bathrooms, this. All right, $30,000 budget for that. C, 60,000. D, 100K. So that way, when the leads come in, it's like, okay, if this is a property worth, 400K, there's 70% equity in the deal. So that means it's around what they're asking like 210,000, something like that. It's a C grade or B grade property. Then I know, okay, I'm gonna need to put 30K into it. So subtract that, that's 180. Subtract 20 or 15 or 20K for my wholesale fee. And then boom, in one button click, you got, hey, here's what this will look like if I wholesale it. Here's what this will look like if I flip it.
Yeah.
All right, boom, super linear. I can sit back, look, okay, here you go. All right, I want to wholesale it. I'm gonna reach out.
So for anybody just getting started, do you have any recommendations on how to get that coded properly, or find somebody on Fiverr or somebody that can, actually do that and set it up for them?
So I would definitely say, if you're not a coding nerd like myself, Fiverr is a great resource to get somebody to work on that for you. I mean, you can literally search Podio build out and tell them exactly what you want. Honestly, so I'm big on just self-investment. Like, I'm selfish. I feel like if there are certain tools that people have that I don't, that's a big weakness to me. So it's like, dude, take the time. Like I'm saying, obviously as entrepreneurs, there are certain things we don't need to worry our time about, right?
Yeah.
Which is filling out forms.
Yeah.
Doing intro calls,
Legwork. Yeah.
Legwork. But as an entrepreneur, like, you need to invest your time in learning technology. Like,
sure.
Do you know how much money you lose outsourcing tech to people?
Yeah.
Now you're going from like, hey, a VA is $400 to, oh damn, I gotta pay somebody $3,000 to do a web layout, when all you gotta do is put in a couple hours to watch YouTube. I mean, you can do it. And I've committed myself to the tech side, so I would encourage, look at Podio build outs on YouTube. Pretty simple to show you, and I'm no genius. You can do it. And go that route. Fiverr is a good route. Also, Podio themselves, they have customer support people. Batch leads is incredible with their freaking reach out. If you're not using that, every person that has a batch leads account has like an account manager assigned to their profile. Dude, any questions you have about setting up leads and lists and texting and this and how to save money on that and this, talk to those people. Take the time to talk to them. They will genuinely help you. And it'll not only save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but you'll also have skills that will take you far and beyond what other people do. So you can imagine, just in the time that I took in comparison to somebody else investing the 6-7 hours to set that up. Now what I just told you is a way where I'm able to analyze deals without doing anything, And that's just a whole nother level. I mean, I'm looking at leads like green, yellow, red. All right. This is good.
Pretty simple. Yeah.
From there, I have somebody that does on my texting side, right? So I'm pulling lists, getting them skip traced, putting them back into batch. I program my SMS campaign through Twilio. Twilio is an awesome tool to use. Takes a little bit more work, but they do have great support and tech support. And there are also plenty of Twilio experts that can help code and structure what you want. But Twilio is like 10 cents of 1 cent per text. And they do a pretty good job in allowing those daily limits. I think mine are like 2,000 to 3,000 a day is my limit for text. So I input those back into batch. And then I have a transaction coordinator that'll go through. And I already created 15 different templates and already have it set up. So he knows, hey, all right, when I pull this list based on this formula, I put all this stuff on paper. It's almost like, hey, on Monday, we're pulling high equity lists. This is that. Batch also allows you to save those templates, which is huge. Once you find the formula, it's like, hey, I need to pull my version of a high equity list and just insert, boom, county, tag it as May or June outreach campaign. Boom. All of it's tailored. Put it into the SMS campaign for June. One click.
Very systemized, very organized, and really sets you up for success.
He's clicking through, and then he's sending text messages. My text response, I think because of how humanistic my responses and everything are like 55 to 60% response. From those, I'm getting like probably between 15 and 18% of like yes. And then obviously from there, you got to see if it's a good deal or not. And out of that,
what does that funnel look like? Afterwards, maybe 18 people afterwards say yes, and then what?
No, so you can imagine if I'm getting out of 1,000, and I do them in 1,000 text batches because easier to keep up with.
So 1,000 text blasts, and then how much is that roughly costing you?
1,000 text blasts might cost me like $180.
$180, okay, and then after that, it converts into what? How many people?
Like 5 to 6 like deals that I can close on, get under contract, and move.
Yeah, that's crazy. So for such a small investment into yourself and your leads, you can get 50% to actually respond back to you. After that, you get about 18% maybe that actually say like yes, and then you funnel it out. And how many of those truly make sense, right? And are actually deals. And then, you're just playing the numbers game. So the funnel starts off, big, and then it starts shrinking down. And for $180 to start off with, and then a couple software and tools to stay organized and updated, you can make decisions quickly. It's a no-brainer.
And batch is one of those unique things where you don't have like different than I think what's it called, like rocket launch or something like that.
Sure.
Because batch, when I text on that campaign, my whole team is in batch. So not only do I have to text, my admin is texting. My partner Milton is able to text them, and then in that conversation, I can pull up the physical property on the same section with the comps and everything, and not have to go anywhere else but on my phone.
Yeah. So and really quick and simplified to be able to make proper decisions.
Super linear. And, and the big thing too is a follow-up, man. I mean, texting follow-up is simple. If they say, it's actually the easiest thing ever. When you slide through this list, right, batch will give you, then you can customize these, a warm, hot, no, DNC, and tentative, right?
Sure.
If they're saying no, they go to follow-up. If I'm getting a don't ever call me again, I'll murder you, the typical stuff.
And they happen. Yeah.
Read over text and hear over the phone. I just bump those people to the DNC and don't bother them. Just because they can get pretty aggressive, as we all know. And then for my no's, it's like, what is your response to no? Okay. Hey, no problem. Don't mean to bother you. I'm really motivated to help people with their real estate. So if you ever need any help with anything or know somebody that might need some help figuring something out, please feel free to use me as a resource. And that stuff stays with people. And I would say out of that, I've gotten at least 2 to 3 deals that have come from that. I actually closed one today that I did from a trial. I only did 100 texts. This is like one of the 6 or 7 guys that responded to that first time I did this. We built a relationship, blah, blah, blah. He got a house. It was like, he's a big contractor. He's like, hey, this house is like 80% complete. Oh, well, like 60,000 for it.
Yeah.
65,000. Flipped it out the same day to an investor for 75 grand right up the street.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Super easy. And
very smart.
Low management, low time. I can scroll through and follow with people over text while I'm just sitting doing whatever. So you can imagine the same thing as leads in my system. If they're hot, right? Then the admin will go and say, okay, all these hot leads, they know how to pull the comps from batch, which batch is like extremely good with their comps. And it's even better. Don't just use, when you look at a property, batch will give you like an estimated value. Don't just use that. Filter down your comps. I do everything within at least a half mile, within 10% of square footage, same bath, same bedroom, whatever bathroom, right?
Sure.
And then say, okay, here's how you do that. You pick the 3 or 4 closest properties Boom, boom, boom. Batch will average those out and give you a different, adjusted, more concise estimated value. Then that's your ARV.
Yeah.
Once you have that and they put it in the same form as the other ones, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're good to go. I mean, it's very simplified. I love the idea of like your guys' business model. It's a 4-man crew. You guys have the certain templates in place. You have the certain software, text blast, and relationships. And that's in the nutshell of things. It's like, it's not that difficult. It's not that complicated. And actually utilizing some of these sources, it just makes it even that easier. So I really love it. As we're wrapping up, I'm curious, like where you guys have grown tremendously in the last couple of years, but where do you see yourself going in the near future? Like, what are you guys trying to accomplish?
And so we've got a pretty crazy, I wouldn't call it crazy. I mean, it's just process, right? And by this time next year, 365 days, we want to do a deal in every single state. Okay. Every single state, I want to partner with someone, JV a deal, give them a deal. Our scalability now is, hey, attending Clever, attending All In. I've made these friends that have proven concept. They're freaking out here hustling, balling, doing their thing. Professionals. I would call them subject matter experts in their market.
Yeah.
So what is easier for me to insert myself into that market and compete with those guys, or say, hey, I've got a pretty sweet linear lead campaign. How about this? I'm going to go ahead and lock up at least 10 deals in your market, get the contracts. I'm going to send them to you. You're going to apply them to your already established market.
Yeah.
And we're going to JV them 50-50.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that do for me? Think about the scale. If I can do that in, let's even say 30 states, right? Only cost to me is increasing my marketing dollars for the skip tracing and for the actual batch of records.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Come on now.
That's basically it. So,
well, shoot, bro, you keep me in mind. Don't forget about San Diego out here.
Yeah. I'm saying, dude, and so that's as simple as this is, man. It's like, hey, tell me what you're looking for. Are people flipping? Are they looking for rentals? Are they looking for subject to deals? Yeah. And bro, let's collaborate. Hey, tell me your formula of what you're looking for. I'm gonna send you leads. Yep. And bro, when you diversify these markets, I mean, South Carolina for one, like our deals to make $100K, you only need like 200,000. Yeah, you can buy these properties for 150, put 50 into them, and have 100.
Call a day. Yeah.
You know, but you do that in San Diego, these different markets, you're talking about way bigger spreads, way bigger things. And I don't know, man, like I would rather not expand myself and have to compete with the whole world when I could work with the whole world. If me and you make 100K together, you make 100K, I make 100K in 6 months. And I can get that and scale that process to 40 people over a year.
Come on. Yeah, it makes sense. I love it. Now, I love where your heart's at too, and just the mindset. Like when I first got started, I felt like it was people didn't want to share certain things, and you're coming at it in an angle that like you are not trying to compete by any means. You're trying to partner up. You're trying to add value to the other person, and you know that will always benefit you in the long run, which it always does. So people don't forget, who's feeding them.
The key to private capital is raising money. Yeah. In real estate, it is so easy to raise money with other people. Like that is the whole concept. If I can make 40 people 100K, whenever I have if I want to syndicate for a multifamily unit, I don't have to sit out here and try to fundraise and do all this. I'm going to try to hop on a freaking Zoom call with all these other people that I've already done stuff with. And like, yo, what's up, Brandon? Like, we got a closing next week. After that, let's hop on a call. Yeah. Hey, let's do this. Hey, I got this deal. What are your thoughts? You got investors? You want to partner with me on this? Like,
it's good.
You're taking it from having to do that with 2 million people to being able to do it with like 50 to 100 people.
Yeah. That's good.
And I feel like anybody that, and this is just my thinking, like, I have my sauce, right? You have yours. Mm-hmm. McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, all these are billion-dollar businesses, right? They all have their sauce. They're not competing against each other. There is no competition between McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. There is none. Yeah. McDonald's makes its money, Chick-fil-A makes its money. They make that money together in a freaking shopping plaza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be the mall that gets all these different players together And
great
just,
analogy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to stay in my lane, you stay in yours, and let's work together to do something bigger. Like,
yeah, that's good. Randy, how can people get a hold of you?
Dude, man, you can hit me up. My personal cell phone number and my social security number is.
yeah. Let me get that social.
Yeah.
What's that routing number?
I know. Right? Bro, honestly, just hit me up on Instagram. It's Randy, RNDY .Solomon, SOLOMON 3 on IG. And that's honestly the best way, man. Like, connect with me, follow me, message me. You know, let's set up a time to hop on a Zoom call just like this. And I love these discovery calls where it's like, hey, you know, what are you doing? What do you struggle with? What do you want to do? And no, I'm looking to collaborate. So if you want to do your first flip, if you want to do, or you need help raising money, if you need help selling a deal,
you need help, reach out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just want to talk entrepreneurship and how to get better at what you're doing, like, Pace and Jamil just kind of set that standard for a community, bro. Like, good. You don't become as successful in a brand like that without community. So in my own way, I'm gonna foster that community and just like, well, let's just do deals together.
I love it. I love where the heart's at, bro. I appreciate you greatly for jumping on and spilling out everything, all the gold nuggets for all the listeners today. I know I got a ton of notes, and if you guys are like me, then you should be writing down too and taking your notes. But as always, guys, reach out to Randy. He's a boss, and just his heart's in the right place. I do commend that. So you guys can definitely do business together as well. But if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments. Otherwise, Facebook.com/Brandon Elliott Investor. If you need any credit repair done for you services, you can check out creditrepairmobile.com. Otherwise, if you are looking to really get educated on credit, like the ins and outs and everything in between, understanding how the banks and lenders are judging you, how to fix credit faster than anyone in the industry, you doing it yourself, for your friends, family, your circle, never have to pay for credit repair again, actually make money from it. And then afterwards, truly understand how to get several six figures all at once, or even up to seven figures within a short time frame, all from credit, understanding how the banks are judging you so you can get that money from them and be able to leverage it, put it to work, travel hack, and make infinite returns off of that credit. Then check out creditcounselelite.com. That's www.creditcounselelite.com. Greatly appreciate all your guys' love and support. Hitting that subscribe button for Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. And as always, leave that 5-star review. Appreciate all the feedback and love. We'll catch you on the next episode next Monday. But till next time, guys, stay blessed. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate you, bro.
Take it easy.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.